Okay, so in today's video, we will try to understand what is position in CSS, basically how we can make use of this property called position and what are all the values we have for the property position. Like you can see, basically these are the values that we can use for position: static, absolute, fixed, relative, sticky, initial and inherit. So here initial in the sense whatever the CSS applies at initial conditions, or you can say by default the position value is set to their value static. Okay, so mostly you will not get you will not be using initial as well as inherit. Inherit means apply the position of the parent. Okay, so here in this mostly we will be focusing on absolute, fixed, relative and sticky. Static is also not that much important because static is the default value and you won't be able to see any effect of static. So that's why, but I will tell, like whenever we create any element in HTML, in that case the by default the position property is set to static. Okay, and static means the element will render in the same order in the way that we have defined in HTML. So same order will remain exactly same, and that's why I am telling you will not be able to see the effect of static, as it is default and it has not much impact. But quickly we will see that also. Let's go and try to understand how we can see make use of position property. So simply I will create here one page, maybe index.html, and then I will write the HTML code. Let me write here a style, and then here I will make some div so that we can apply the CSS position property. Okay, so I will say I need div with class parent, and then I will also create the child. Okay, so I will say it should have the child with the class child, and I want there should be maybe 4 child. Okay, so now we have 4 child with class child, and there is a parent, one div with class parent. Also let me assign, I will assign some individual CSS to each child div. So I will put another class also, and we can name it maybe child 1, child 2, etc. So this is child 1. I will put here child 2, and then I just need to rename child 1, child 2, 3 and 4. Okay, that's it. Then I can write here maybe child 1 content also we can write, otherwise div will not be visible to us. So child 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And now if we go and see the output of this page, then simply I can say open with live server, and here we can see like this. Let me go and make some other CSS so that we can see all div individually and clearly with some background. Okay, so I will apply some CSS on parent. I will say this is parent, and I can say let me give some height, maybe I can say 500 pixel. Then I can say margin, margin I will say maybe 1 pixel. Okay, the important thing is let me give the border also, and border I can say 1 pixel black solid. Okay, and then background color also I can set. So here I will say background color, and then let me make the background color maybe weight. Okay, now if we go and see, we have this parent and these are the child. So let me make this child also, we need to apply some CSS on child also. I can say let me have some common, I want so I need to put here dot, Then first of all, I want all these divs to be inline. So I can set this display. Okay, let me show you what this property will do, but before that I will give all of them some border. So individually I will go, and then instead of going individually, let me set this common. So maybe I can say border 1 pixel. Then let me set the color red and solid again. So it should be border with 1 pixel of width, you can say. Then is solid in the sense it will be a straight line, we have solid, dashed, etc. Then color will be red. Next we can see like width and height also we can set. So maybe I can say 200 pixel, and the same way I can say height also with 200 pixel. So all I want in the square format. Okay, now if I go and save, then this is how basically it looks like, and seems like it is coming out of the parent. So let me go, and if you currently see, basically it is aligned vertically. I want to make this horizontally. For that purpose I will use display inline block. And if you see, each div is a stick, there is no gap between two div, so in borders looks like exactly same. So I will put some margin also. So here I can say margin maybe 2 pixel, and then display I will make to inline block, so that I can see all our div in horizontal. And now you can see our div is aligned, then aligned in horizontal way. So now we are in a position that we can go, and now we can apply some CSS on this, especially what the position property. If you remember, in beginning I told you like a static is the default value, elements render in order as they appear in the document flow. So we haven't applied, and you see, first we have child 1, then child 2, 3, 4. You can see here this is the sequence. Like first we have the div for child 1, then child 2, 3, 4, and in the same order it is rendering here. Okay, so this is what basically, if we are not applying any position, in that case the by default position is set to a static. So, and when we use a static, with that basically we are not allowed to use top, left, etc. For example, suppose on child 1 I want to apply some CSS on child 1 only. In that case I can say position, which I already told you, like position should be by default a static. You don't need to write this individually. Okay, so still you will see no impact, because by default also it had the same value. So basically the advantage that we get with the position property is we get of we are allowed then to use top, left, right and bottom property with position. But with a static we can't write. Like if I write top 100 pixel, and you will see no impact. If as it is, the child 1 will be staying here and no impact is there. However, if we use other property with position, in that case definitely we can use these properties like top, left, right and bottom. So let's go, and I hope you understood, like static is the default value and almost you won't get any impact of this. The element will render in the same way as we have defined in our HTML. This is what basically the HTML has with property position set to a static by default. Now let's go to the next property, that is absolute. So what absolute does, basically the element is positioned relative to its first positioned, not a static. Okay, ancestor element. So basically whenever we put the value position to absolute, in that case element will keep itself according to the position of their parent. Okay, let's see what is the meaning of this. So maybe I will say child 1, not child 1, let's leave that, and I will say child 2. Okay, so let's apply this on child 2, and then I can say position set to I will say absolute. So as soon as we set position absolute, now you see basically child 1 is there, child 2 and 3 has collapsed with each other, and then child 4. What does it mean? Actually what happens, as soon as we make the position set to absolute, immediately it leaves its space, and now it will try to adjust itself according to its parent element. Okay, what exactly does it mean? Now see carefully. Earlier, I had first child 1, then second div was child 2, then third was child 3, and here I had child 4. But as soon as I make child 2, here you see child 2 as position set to absolute, immediately this position of child 2 basically was left. Okay, it will move itself, or I can say it will leave its actual position. Okay, and then the element just beside it will shift to its position. Okay, that's why we are getting the feeling that child 2 and 3 is rely on the same position, but it is not. Actually child 2 has left its position, and that position became blank. Now wherever we want to move this, it will try to move child 2, but child 3 and child 4 remain as it is. Okay, let me try explaining this also. Like as soon as I told you position is set to absolute, means it's this element, this div has left its position to other element, anyone can occupy. Typically the element who is sitting just beside this element will occupy the position of this element. Then if I say like I want left set to 10 pixel, let's see what happens now. So now you can see basically child 2 is floating. Okay, so earlier by default when we didn't set any value, in that case the child 2 and child 3 was sitting here, but now child 2 came here, and it we are getting the feeling like child 1 and child 2 are overlapped with each other. So basically what happens, as soon as we leave, like I say, if I remove this position set to absolute, of course in that case let me comment this. So now this is the actual position of child 2. Okay, and this is the child 3. But whenever, as soon as we make this div as position set to absolute, immediately this space will be left, and anyone can occupy this. Especially this child 3 will shift to here, assuming that child 2 now doesn't exist. We will get the look and feel that it is still staying, but basically this one will leave its space, and now it will be in a floating position. We can set this to anywhere then. Okay, so this is what basically the absolute does. So I will go, and now I told like if I set left to 10 pixel, what actually it does, by setting the position to absolute, it will leave the actual position, its own position, and any other element will grab its position. And then whenever we define any value with left, right, anywhere, in that case it will try to adjust itself according to its first positioned parent actually. So what does that mean? Actually this child 2 div will try to shift according to the left. Okay, this property 10 pixel, but from where? So it will try to find its parent who is positioned. For example, if we see here, so currently this div has this div parent, the div with class parent is the parent of these all actually. Okay, these all div are the parent of this div, but currently if you talk about div 2, so div 2 has parent this div, so it will go and it will try to adjust according to this div. But I told keep positioned parent in the sense the parent on which position property is applied. But if you see basically this div is not applying the CSS position called property. We have this parent, but CSS is not applied on this, right? That's why it will not talk with this, and then it will go to its next parent or next ancestor, who is whom, who is nothing but this body. This body is also not positioned, means we are not applying position property on this body also. So then it will go to the next parent, and who is the parent of body? The HTML only. So in the sense, HTML is also not, but we don't have any other element, any other tag associated with position right now. So eventually this position, this child 2 will try to adjust itself according to this HTML tag. Okay, and that's why we see here it is coming from child in the sense ki HTML tag. Okay, then so this is what basically it will try to adjust. Okay, you can say how this can I can prove whether it is adjusting either with div or this one. So let me give some example. Okay, so maybe I will first of all I am telling like hey wait, what I will do, I will assign some margin to this parent. Okay, so this parent I will say margin, let me define it to margin left, and then I will say 100 pixel. Okay, let me save this. Remember, this parent has margin set to 100 pixel. Okay, so now you see the one with black border is the parent, but you see we have applied absolute to child 2. So this child 2 is not looking to its current parent, it is still looking to HTML only, because it could adjust itself according to the positioned parent. But this div with border black and this one with border this let me make this green background. Okay, so the one with the green background. Okay, so this is also the parent, but why this child 2 is not adjusting itself according to this parent? Because this is not positioned yet, and hence by default it went to HTML. If body could be positioned, in that case it could adjust itself according to the body, because body would be in that case the positioned parent. Okay, so this is how basically it works. Now let me try and giving the position to this parent only this time. So I will say hey parent, let's have some position, maybe relative. Okay, and then let's check now the behavior of absolute. Now if you see the child 2 which was earlier coming from here, now it is trying to adjust itself according to the current parent which is with the green background. Okay, you see it is adjusting now here. But if I remove this, if I comment this position, then again it will try to adjust itself according to the parent div. Okay, and hence it went to left. So I hope now you understood that whenever we set the position to absolute, it will leave its position, actual position, other element, other tag will take their position, and then this div on which we have applied position to absolute will try to adjust itself according to its positioned parent, the parent on which we have applied the property position. Okay, so this is what basically the meaning of absolute is. Then we have fixed. It means the element is positioned related to the browser window. Let me go back, let me undo the code. I hope we understood then. So I will not put margin left now. Okay, let me comment. Then position, I will comment this, so that we come to the normal position. So now again we came to the normal position this time, and if we haven't applied any position, then by default the position is set to static. Next we have is fixed. Okay, so typically fixed is straightforward. As soon as I told you, as soon as you use the position property, immediately you become eligible to use top, left, bottom and right property. Okay, so for example, suppose I want to adjust this child 4 to anywhere as fix in the sense कि now it will not move anywhere, it will fixed there only. Okay, as it is. So we can apply that. Let me apply on maybe child 4. So I can say here child and then I can say position set to fixed. Okay, so when I told position is set to fixed, you can see no change because by default it remain as it is. It is fixed now. Okay, but how will we get to know? So for that, let me go and let me change the property, maybe top, left, etc. And also let me change the background again. This is, I will say, the background color I want just any maybe Alice blue or what. Light color, ultraviolet, let me, blue violet, let me try this, and then let's switch back to child 4. So this is fixed now. I want to fix where, so I will say bottom. Okay, go and fixed at bottom. So you might have seen at several websites, like in the bottom right you can get the chat options with their customer support. So suppose I want to fix at this position in the right bottom portion, so we can fix here. Okay, how we can do? Simply you can say bottom maybe 0 pixel, and then this is the bottom, and right also we can say from right we want 0 pixel. Let's go and check where is now child 4. So you can see the child 4 has moved from its actual position and now it shifted. So this is the actual position where bottom is 0 and right is 0, and now this is fixed. Whatever you will do you can do, but this will remain fixed. To understand this, let me increase the height of the parent div. Okay, I will give it exceptional height, maybe I can say 2500 pixel. Okay, so that we can understand. Now its height is very huge. If we go and see, if we try to this, in the sense if we try to scroll, still you see the child 4 is fixed. Let me give some background to this also. To child 4 I can give background color to weight, and then you see whether I am scrolling, so entire div is moving, but this child 4 is fixed now. Okay, so this is what basically the fixed property is used for, where if you want any element to fix at any position, you can simply go with position set to fixed, and at what position you want, that can be defined using top, right, left and bottom. Okay, so this is how we basically we can make use of fixed. Then we have relative. The element is positioned relative to its normal position. Now this is something where you again need to recall the behavior of absolute. Absolute was positioning itself according to the parent. Like if I was telling you, hey, adjust yourself with 20 pixel, then it was first looking to its first positioned parent, and then in context to that it was adjusting itself 20 pixel from its positioned parent. But with relative this is not the case. Relative in the sense it will try to adjust itself according to its normal position. It will not check for any parent. Okay, what does it mean? Let me go, and this time let me perform some this on child 3 maybe. Okay, so I will set this child 3, then I can say position set to relative. One more point, if you remember with absolute, so in absolute okay, I will set I will this is a better way that I can show you on child 2 only, so that I can distinguish also between the absolute and relative. So let me remove this, then I will go here and here only. So if I set to position absolute, okay, this is just I'm keeping to show you what is happening. So position is set to absolute. Now you see child 3, because when I set to child 2 with position absolute, it left its space, and now the one who is sitting beside this div is shifting to its actual place. That's why we are getting that these two, child 2 and child 3, is overlapping with each other. However, However, if we make this relative, then that element will not leave its actual position, it will remain as it is. You see, we said and no impact is there. Then what is the impact in the sense, guys? Now if I tell top 20 pixel, so what will happen if I am sending 20 pixel? You see, it is leaving the its actual space, but other element cannot come to its normal position. It will leave that position blank, that will remain occupied only, but no other element can occupy that. However, with absolute, you saw that this child 3 was occupying the space of child 2 if I set the position absolute to this child 2. But if I set relative, in that case this element will move, but its actual position, that you see this one, will no one will occupy. So that's why, that is the reason that this child 3 is not shifting towards left, because this will not leave its position, the position will remain blank only, and no other element can take that place. Okay, so this. Now the next thing, if I set to top 20 pixel, do you remember what was happening in case of absolute? With absolute, this element will go and try to search for the first positioned parent element, but with relative this is not the case. It will try to adjust itself according to its normal position only, it will not search for any parent. What does it mean? It means if I am telling top 20 pixel, or maybe I will say top 120 pixel, so you can see what happens. It moved from its actual position only, means from top, this one was the actual position. Okay, and then I told you, hey child 2, you have to move from top with 120 pixels. So it's told you, okay, whatever the earlier position I had, I will move from that only. So earlier this one was the position, so from here it moved. Also, if I set to left, okay, let me make this left to 120 pixel, what will happen? Basically it moved, but remember guys, still I am repeating, child 2 is not moving to its parent now, it is moving to its actual, means earlier this border of child 2 was lying here, so from here only now it is basically moving the 120 pixel. So this gap is 120 pixel, it is moving from its actual or previous position only, not from parent. It will move from its normal position, and the space that was occupied by this element will remain blank, no other element can occupy that space. But in case of absolute, it was occupying. Okay, so this is what basically the purpose of child 2 is there. If I set let me set the child 2 with some color also, so that I can show you other property called z index also. So maybe I can say it has blue child 2, then I can say child 3 background, let me set child 3, and then I can say background color to brown. I will say chocolate. So you can see now blue child 2 is coming over this child 3, but I want this child should be just behind the child 3. Currently it is overlapping child 3 and coming on top of child 3, but I want child 3 should come on top. So this can be managed by z index, and again we are eligible, we are allowed to use z index when we are using the position property. So simply whoever the element is there which you want to use, if you are setting the z index with higher value, then that element will come on top. Okay, so suppose we want child 3 to come on top of child 2, so obviously we will set the higher z index to child 3. Okay, so I will go to child 3 and I will set here z index I will set maybe 1. then we can see now, and child 3, basically child 2 is there, child 3 is there, and we don't see the impact of z index. What is the reason? The reason is we haven't applied position on child 3. That's why we are not able to use that. Okay, so I will cut from here and I will apply on child 2, but the problem is it is already on top. By default, if we are not setting the value, it has value 0. Okay, so child 2 already has a higher value, that's why it is coming on top. So what we can do, we can make this lower value. The value of z index will be lower, then it will go in the back. If value is higher, it will come on top. So I will make it -1. Okay, now if you see, the child 2 this time will be coming in the back, and child 3 with chocolate background will coming on top. Okay, so if I refresh, you see something happened. Okay, so if it is not working with this, let me go with another way, that we can set this value to 1 only. Okay, child 2 will have z index set to 1. Then let me set to child 3 the position. Okay, because with position only it works. So position set to relative maybe. Okay, and then we can set the z index, a higher value we can set. Okay, so if child 2 has 1, we want child 3 to come on top. In that case, we can set the bigger value, maybe 2. Now this will come on top. So you see, now child 3 is coming on top of child 2. This way basically we can utilize the z index also, and this is how the relative proposition basically work. Then we have the last one, st key. This st key is little bit confusing, but you need to understand that this is nothing but this will behave like a relative as well as fixed. If we saw fixed, like it will fixed itself according to browser window. We just have to give the position by top, left, right, bottom. Okay, then here in st key it says the element is positioned based on the user's scroll position. st key element toggles between relative and fixed depending on the scroll position. It is positioned relative until a given offset position is met in the viewport, then it is stuck in the place. Now let's try to understand what is the meaning of this. Okay, currently let me adjust everyone. That first I will remove this, I will comment. Let me shift back to the previous position so that we can understand what is st key child 2. Now everything set to default. So all of this is coming in this, like child 1, child 2, child 3, child 4. Now suppose I want to apply a position st key on child 3. How we can apply? Obviously on child 3 I will uncomment. Then let's remain the background color to chocolate only. Then position I will set st key. Guys, don't get confused with static and st key. Static is the default value. St key is something where this will stick. How it will stick, that we will see. And let me remove the z index also for now. So let's see what happened. Basically nothing happened for now. Okay, even we are scrolling, that we can see. So st key is something where its impact we can see while scrolling this. Okay, we have to tell the position that hey, after moving a certain position you have to stick yourself. Okay, how we can define that? We can define with again those properties that I told you, top, left, right, bottom. So maybe I will say hey, you have to stick yourself as soon as you reach to 0 pixel from the top. Okay, so if now we move, you see other element will go, but this will remain stick to this at the same position as soon as 0 pixel will be reached from top. So here if I scroll, you see other elements are going away, but child 3 is stick. Okay, you can see hey, this is similar like fixed only. Yes, it is fixed, but in fixed even you scroll, still it will remain at their own position, but in this it will little bit scroll until it meet at their specified position, and then it will not scroll. Okay, this is the difference between fixed and sticky. So this you might not be understand. This time you might be thinking hey, this one is still not scrolling, this is also not scrolling, so this is like fixed. So let let me show you again. You see, gradually it is currently, if I show you this small gap, so this child 3 is little bit scrolling and then it stopped scrolling. To make this clearly, let me increase this, maybe I will say 50 pixel, okay, and then let me go, and now you see little bit it will scroll, but still it is not clear. So let me make one div, or let me give the margin top here, so it will be more clear. I will uncomment this and then I will say margin top set to 100 pixel, and now you can see clearly. Okay, so now see, entire element is here. What we have told to this child 3 that hey, your position is set to sticky, and then as soon as you reach to where, as soon as you reach to 50 pixel from the top, stop scrolling and stick at that position. Okay, so now let me scroll. Currently see, I am able to scroll an entire element including child 3 is also scrolling, but as soon as it will reach to 50 pixel from the top, it will stop scrolling and it will stick at that position. Okay, so this is how basically sticky works. Let me show you in the left side also, like how this is a vertical one. So this is basically, you might have seen at several websites where header remains stick. This way basically we can consume the position set to stick. If we want to stick vertically, how we can do? Nothing but maybe we just need to give the width. So I will define width also with little huge value, in the sense 2500 pixel, and then this time instead of using top I will say left. Okay, so as soon as you go to left with 50 pixel or 20 pixel, then stop scrolling and stick at that position. Okay, so now if we go, this time we have applied guys left property. So let me scroll. See, entire element we are able to scroll, but please focus on child 3. As soon as it will reach to 20 pixel from the left, okay, from where? Basically from the left side. In that case, it will stop scrolling and then it will fix there. Okay, so let me scroll, and gradually I am scrolling. You see, I am able to scroll. Child 3 is also able to scroll, but as soon as that position will be true, immediately it will stop scrolling. Now you can see child 3 is not scrolling, other elements still I am able to scroll, right? So this is how basically the ST key works. Okay, and this is the difference between fixed and ST key. A fixed key will remain fixed forever, okay, irrespective of whether we are scrolling or not. Like let me go and make the child 4 as fixed, and you will see I will uncomment, I will save, and then this is fixed. So even though I am scrolling, you see no impact on child 4. Either I am scrolling vertical, I am scrolling horizontal, no impact, but little bit impact we can see on ST key. That is the impact of scrolling until we reach to a specified position. Okay, so after a specified position, that is 20 pixel, the ST key stops scrolling. Okay, I hope now we have clarity between ST key and fixed. So that's it. This is what basically we had for today. Thank you.